Hey you guys, I hope everyone is having a good Friday and looking forward to the weekend. And yeah, so we are going to talk about latent power. So awakening that latent, like dormant power within inside of us, okay? So I titled it Rising from Dormancy into Divine Leadership, right? Taking that power back and only using it for ourselves, not handing it out, okay? So there comes a point in every soul's journey where silence becomes too heavy to carry, when you can no longer stand by and watch harm unfold, when your spirit says no more, okay? That moment right there, that's when latent power begins to stir. It's the power that's been sleeping within you. It's even, that's the awakening, right? A lot of times God will have like that tower moment come in your life because you're not like seeing the larger picture, right, of what's going on. Those are sometimes moments, those are big moments of awakening. That is, and then where are you going to go from there? When, it's like when we can see it, we can't unsee it. So are we going to take the reins within our own lives? Or are we going to sit back and let it collapse on us, So we all have them. It's not like you've done wrong until you get the tower. No, it's just sometimes like when we're not seeing or taking the steps in our own lives to take full responsibility, or don't know the demise and all the negativity going around us, because we're like such pleasant people, just bop, 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 bop. He's like, boom, I'm gonna hit you with one because it's your time. And it all comes in. And towers aren't always bad. Like, they are not. It's how you want to perceive them and how you want to then take charge in your life. It's really God. Like, mine was the biggest one led me fully to here. Like, So it's like, but it had to happen because I was getting like stolen money from. I was like, getting taken advantage of. I was like, I was giving too much of my power away. I was being like the kind one. And you guys remember, like, a lot of times these are spirits on people, like that aren't awoken, or they know exactly what they're doing, and God has a whole plan behind his system, right? Because this is God's land. Like, he always has a bigger plan. That's why when you listen and you walk with him and you accept where he's maneuvering you, he's either, that tower is coming in to maneuver you to awaken, to get on that right path, or to get you out of the way of way bigger downfalls that could be intentionally done by other people, or getting entrapped in someone trying to set you up to put you in fucking jail. Like, hitman's coming in. Like, you guys, these things are real and they do occur, like we're coming back finally. Like, it's like the times are shifting. Like, we are ridding like the demonic, deep, dark spirits that have been like, come here to attack and to like try and make the whole world go dark. But it's no more. Like, the light is here. We are winning. The light will win because it's God's land, and God will always win. But there's always a plan, and he is the master co-creator. He is the creator of the world. So when we think we're getting a one up on him, you're not, and you're just playing with the devil and you're confused. And there was just a lot of karmic situations that needed to be worked out. And remember, everyone had their time too, especially with my situation. And it's not even just mine. Like, this is a way larger, deeper, ingrained things that are going on that a lot of people don't see, and they think they're just making a deal and getting some money for doing like even like the witchery part of it or whatever. It's like, if you guys didn't like turn your leaf and say, I'm gonna make amends and go to the light side, like, you will reap what you sow. It just is. God also never goes against his rules. Like, that is how balance will always come back into balance, because the devil will always play you, and who's going to be the one to help you figure out your karmic ties and like awaken you to the light. But at the end of the day, free will. So hopefully, to the ones that were awoken to the truth and realized they jumped on a bandwagon of bullshit, you know? So that's why God has been allowing everyone to reflect on themselves, and a lot of them, I think, even knew, like, those are false, what are being spoken about people. You guys, it like simply comes down to even gossip. Like, who's going to be the leader in the group to stand up and say, I don't believe in that, or I'm going to walk away from that because that is low vibrational bullshit. Like, it's such a strong reflection of who you are as a human being. Like, you know, laugh about it or not, like, think that you're like a part of the scheme, like the cool group. Like, it's not cool. And again, you reap what you sow. Karma, if you've gone deeper into it by stealing, there's consequences, legal consequences with that. And another part of like all that has been shifting is it was really for the men to see within themselves where that ego can really carry you into a false world of illusions, right? Delusions. And half the time, you guys, some of these women, the women a part of the occults, or just like within your family dynamic, like, I mean, like the manipulation. I always say, yeah, men can manipulate in ways, but it's very blunt. It's direct. Like, it's an obvious. Oh, you want a woman that is a nurturer, that like it feels all things, and she's a manipulator, a narcissist. Good luck. A mature female knows when, like, there's jealousy, there's envy, and you can read that on a woman's face immediately. Like, there's a big difference, and that comes with maturity within self and confidence within self. But even a narcissistic woman to another female, like, they read each other. These women that are narcissists, and a lot of them are older, even why we can even call some of these people like handlers, or like older men that go after younger women, handlers, because it's a form of manipulation. It's like that mommy syndrome. Like, you want to the younger men, when you have females coming after you, you don't think they know the game. They know exactly what they're playing. Like, you have to be aware. You're not like the cool guy that got the older woman. Like, you're sweetheart. These women go after younger men. It's a form of control. It's a form of manipulation. And if anything, like, they're like laughing behind your backs. And some of them aren't. And remember, these really narcissistic ones, if we want to go on like the spiritual level of it, like, yeah, these are like spirits of narcissism. This is like, it plays in women a lot stronger, I would say, than men. And some of these spirits are like demonic men spirits on their back. And some of them don't even actually are in like men. They like to control them because they can. And they play that game very well, and they just want to win. It's like a winning game, just like how men think that like they own women out here. I mean, don't be the dumb one that thinks you're dating some like great person. That's why it is so important to intuitively know and understand who you're dealing with. Like, some of these narcissistic women that have these spirits, I mean, specifically, like, that have gone after these younger men, like, that's a full handler, dude. They are handling you, and you have to, and some of them actually want women, and maybe that's something within them they haven't like noticed, but that, you know, that they haven't been so bold to maybe say that they're like a lesbian or something, but, or that's why they can also dabble with the opposite sex, and you guys are having all these orgies out there, or they just have the male spirit on them as well. I definitely know that's for one out there. But also to the men that are younger, that are dealing with these older women, thinking they're so mature because they date an older female. Sweetheart, you also have to look at the dynamic within your family. Like these are mama wounds. These, just like how little girls go after older men, daddy wounds. We have to heal those wounds. And I'm not saying everybody has, you know, these mommy and daddy wounds, but if it's not like the mommy and daddy wounds of not being like caretaken for properly, you know, it's like the narcissistic maybe dynamic within the family, and we all, I think, depending on where you come from, or like even what are you the older child or the younger child, or like have you had a divorce in your family, like did your dad go and marry and like have kids and then was perfect there? I mean, this is what we're talking about. These are the karmic patterns within the family dynamics. These are the quote-unquote curses that we're trying to break, so we don't follow in those footsteps, unbeknownst, we think, to ourselves, and then we start patterning them. Just like men out here, they're like, I never want to get in a relationship, but then you're like having sex with your friends. Like, there's boundaries, right, that need to be had there, because it can become very confusing. We all have emotions, okay? We can all say, that's why the friends with benefits can get tricky, because there obviously is an intention behind whoever the main person was that like initiated the friends with benefits, and compared to the other one who wants to like go with the flow, because in typically the woman, in hopes of like this will be a relationship. Well, you guys, and I had to learn this. This is why when I like met whom I thought my person was, I told my ex, who I was with for just friends during those last couple years. We were just friends, but I didn't want to go be sleeping out with other people, nor did he. And so we decided to like just be doing the hookup thing until if we met someone else, we'd be honest with that. And I was honest with that. But like, you guys, God will not bring in your forever person if you are out sleeping around and making your friends your sex people. This is where the karmic situations and confusion and how each person like reacts to these things, because most of us are not out here being our most honest and trusting selves, right? We're like living under these masks, because I'm pretty sure when you start your healing journey, you're not sleeping around. You're not. You're focusing on yourself, and you're realizing like, oh gosh, like there's a tie there, there's a tie there. Like, you have to break those things off. Like these are the karmic ties that build, and God will never lead you to your full person. I mean, like maybe he'll give you a snippet of like who that could be, but then you have to make the conscious choices that you've allowed yourself to lead into, like with friendships, and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt that friend. Well, you're kind of hurting them by like acting like you might make them your forever person, and you're not going to. And then God's going to watch you to see what do you want? Do you want your wish fulfillments? Well, what comes with wish fulfillments? Sacrifices. And sacrifices didn't need to be such sacrifices if we were honest from the jump. And remember, even if we said it one time, like, oh, well, this is just friends with benefits. You guys, sexual encounters, sex is supposed to be sacred. And we have just we have called it Netflix and chill. Okay? Like, this is where accountability and responsibility within these quote unquote friendships, if they are such friendships, you need to be honest, and you need to be a good person, and you need to honor yourself and that friend. And sometimes, like myself, I honored that with my thought I'd be friend, and some people can take it the wrong way and go down a whole other avenue of like wanting to make me the bad person. But so overall, I'm just saying, this is why it is so important to unmask yourself to you in the mirror, and really be cautious of who you allow in your sacred home, in your sacred vessel. Okay? Like, we are all different levels of beings out here. We all have different intentions, and we don't all say those intentions, because why? That brings on a place of vulnerability that others can attack, can hone in on, use to their advantage. And I'm sorry, I don't like to like think like that, but that is how I used to think. That I dated, I was friends with everyone's higher potential, because God made me from love. He made all of us from love, but I wanted to see the benefit in everyone. And I had a big tower moment of learning that is not true. But me seeing the best in everyone, and then having that tower moment was necessary for my benefit. And I do not sit here in anger towards others or resentment, because that will literally lead you a path down of treacherous bullshit that you'll do to yourself, but your own demise. But no, but I had to have that because I was giving away my power. I was giving my love out so generously. And I'm not talking like sexual. I'm talking just my goodness, like of like being a caretaking almost for everyone. And yes, I am a caretaker, like, and most women should have that nurturing place. But when you use that, like the narcissistic women out there, that is the straight devil within that person, because they are manipulating their already God's given nurturing area in themselves. You know what I mean? Like it can be scary. So you have to be aware. And I needed to step into more of my confidence and just discernment. Like not, it was never like some damsel in distress moment. I just really wanted to see the best in everyone. And we all have it. And that's the beauty too. But when we have wounds, those wounds can form into being manipulative, getting what we want and we think, and we justify it, which is, what is justification? The root of all evil. Because you're living in your own narrative of destruction. But you are justifying it, saying, well, but I'm hurt too. Or you're not even saying those things. You're just running full frontal, fucking up the hill like, I need to win. Because that devil will land at, no, we're winning. And you guys, this goes for men as well. Like I say, color us all purple. We still have our wounds, our broken places, our pride, our ego, our emotional space, which is what we live from. Hide it, cover it with the pride or the ego or not. Like, it's there. Like, that's what we're running on full-faced all the time. We can hide them up or cover them, whatever, but we are beings of emotion. We are. And if we do not know how to balance those emotions and understand who are kind of our opponents out here, enemies, and how do we want to live within self? Yeah, we all want respect, right? We all want status. We all want these things. But are you building it within yourself? Are you having the humility? Are we able to stand in humility and recognize our faults and where we maybe cornered ourselves into destruction and have to get ourselves out by ourselves? So, and we really cannot be so prideful in those moments, right? Because you're just masking yourself again. So we have to have the humility behind our actions. That is the only way out of things that we have squeezed ourselves into so deeply or hid the layered of masks. You gotta unlayer those. You gotta unpack them. And that's why I always say, it's like, know when your recharge moment comes in. Know when you better hermit your ass, and you're not gonna go down that road with those people, because they look shiny, but they're going to the dark. I don't see them anymore. Like, there's no shimmer there anymore, Okay, I know I just took a whole section of that. We went down a whole area, but it all aligns because we've all found our place. We've all found ourselves in places of that destruction or that positivity. It's like, okay, found the light again, but the light will always come from you again. And I'm telling you, even the ones that want to dive deep with the devil, they had light once. Let them find their light again. We cannot be out here nurturing, caretaking, saving others. I mean, yes, you can speak your truth and but you speak your truth and help others by being your truth, by being your own light, shining your own light the brightest, and not waiting. Remember, leaders don't need followers. Will they eventually have them? Yes, but you continue to lead within you. Okay, so let's just start this up again. So, rising from dormancy into divine leadership, right? So there comes a point in every soul's journey And maybe it's like a couple points, you know, like where you're like, awoken again, come back to the light. Okay. Where silence becomes too heavy to carry, when you can no longer stand by and watch harm unfold. When your spirit says no more. Okay, that moment right there, that's when latent power begins to stir. It's the power that's been sleeping within you, hidden under years of fear, doubt, and conditioning. It's the part of you that remembers that what justice feels like, right? We all deserve justice at some point in time. I'm sure we have all felt, I need my justice, you know? So what truth sounds like and what love looks like when it's embodied, not just spoken, okay? We all have these dormant energies inside of us, and these are our gifts, our strengths, instincts, and inner knowing that wait for courage to awaken them, right? And courage doesn't mean loudness. It means honesty. It means being willing to speak what the soul already knows, even if your voice shakes, okay? When you choose truth over silence, when you stand up for what is right, not out of pride, but out of love, and finding like what that love looks like, what true love, what true care looks like for friends, for coworkers, for family, for your forever love, for your lover, you know, like it's different. There's levels of love, but there is a core of like of love, and that is truth. That is truth. When we say we care and love for someone, friend, acquaintance, lovers, family, all of it, all those dynamics, when we say we care and love them, that is when we must always be honest with them, right? Even when it hurts. We can't lie. If we're lying just to like sugarcoat a feeling that we think they're going to have from our telling them the truth, then there's not much love there. There's not much caring behind that, is there? There's fear. There's anxiety. There's not wanting to like ruffle the feathers, but it will just lead you down a path of more lies and get you caught in situations where you have to then tell a really hard big truth. And it probably won't sit so well. But so this is why honesty is love, good or bad. And obviously, if that person does care and love you just as much as they say, if you have to go and tell that big truth, then comes in that forgiveness, the understanding, you know. But we just need to really stop building off of fear, anxiety, and sugarcoating stuff that I'm talking like especially friendships, you guys, especially friendships. Aren't those the forevers? But we also need to all grow, mature, and realize sometimes we outgrow these things. And when we want wish fulfillments and say that true divine feminine, divine masculine, you cannot be going around sleeping with all your friends. It's God will not give you your forever person when you are doing that. Absolutely not. And these are also just a part of our lessons and learning karmic ties. And when we build on something that should have just been a friendship, and then we integrate sex and emotions and we're not being truly honest, you're mixing those signals and you're crossing boundaries that aren't just friendships anymore. And everyone has different feelings about that they may be saying or may not be saying. So you have to then take leadership in those roles and cut those karmic ties. Have the hard truths, have the conversations, you know, be transparent. If only we could be more transparent out here, it would really sever a lot of cross lines that are confusing, and then we have to go untie and make clean again, you know. But that's the lessons. These are the lessons that need to be learned. So if we can just continue being honest and not work out of pride but out of love, your latent power activates. Okay, you begin to vibrate at a higher frequency of authenticity, which is the highest frequency. Okay, and others feel that. They start to see you differently. they start to remember that they too are allowed to stand tall in what they believe as well. But we must also become aware. Some use power to harm, to manipulate, to benefit at the expense of others, unfortunately. But I think we're all really seeing that right now amongst what we think our friend groups are and business partners are and all these things, right? Just like our world in general, the system, how it like kind of destroys or keeps us down when we should all be thriving individually but equally. And this system and people amongst us, you know, sometimes they disguise cruelty as confidence and mock empathy as weakness. Right? I think we're really making a turn with that one because that's so false, right? Empathy is our to have empathy, to feel. You must feel your own emotions. You must be intuitive. And that's why our world keeps us so distracted with like so much chaos and distraction, all the things we think we need to be like included in, when in reality you need to include yourself within you and like go inside, go inner, go hermit mode to know exactly what your needs are and be empathetic with self so we can even navigate with who is even worthy to have our empathy. You know what I mean? So what is that? Knowing your worth and not dealing with other people that don't want to find theirs. So it's a little side note, but it's true. It's true. That's why this world keeps us so distracted. And like, you have to be busybody. No, you need to chill and go isolate yourself and hermit yourself and figure out what is for you and connect to the Most High in silence. You will hear and receive downloads. So this can be seen as false power. It feeds the ego, not the soul, right? Real power uplifts. It restores balance. It never needs to diminish another. So if you find yourself in a room where others are tearing someone down, mocking what they don't understand, or silencing voices that carry light, remember your silence is agreement. You have every right and every spiritual responsibility. Yes, these are spiritual responsibilities. It's a part of, God will place you to see if you stand up for like others. It's a part of your spiritual journey. You know, these are, remember, we are here in Earth School learning our lessons. These are tests. So you have every right and every spiritual responsibility to speak truth from love, right? The act alone awakens the leader within you. Because true leadership starts with the courage to be real. So ways your latent power can awaken is through awareness, knowing what's asleep inside of you, the dormant power that needs to be awoken, integrity, choosing truth even when it's hard, and remembering that truth, good or bad, sometimes when you have to tell that hard truth, it's because you love them, you care for someone, and you care for yourself. Okay? Expression, using your voice to create healing, not harm. Accountability, right? Reflecting on your own actions before judging others. Service, letting your growth become an invitation for others to rise too. Spread your light, you guys. Regardless how people want to perceive you, you are standing in your light, your power, and yes, not everyone is going to love us, but that is the courage. And we're not here to please everyone, right? This is how we shift the collective. This is how we've been shifting the collective, you guys. Awakening, speaking out, speaking our truth, finding our passion, whatever that is, and it becomes teachable moments for others, whatever it is, you know, or you become like a hairdresser. Then you're like helping people with their hair. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a passion. So whatever your passion is, you know, or your love, whatever part of the love of life the love for life, whatever that includes, you do that. And you will be helping the planet, the universe, in some way, some form, right? Because it's positive. Anything positive is going to be helpful. Okay, so So this is a shift for the collective. One awakened being at a time. Okay? And when you begin to live this way, the dormant light within you doesn't just glow, it radiates, you guys. It radiates. It exudes from the inside out. Okay? That's why it's like that whole surface level thing, not only like how we look at the exterior, is only skin deep. You know, just like personalities, like the level of conversation should be more in depth, and that's the inner glow from self. That's like really understanding yourself, and that is where the heart is. That's where the soul is, right? That is what we want to exude out. And yes, it's getting to know yourself and working through the ins and outs of the good and bad, and just being really honest with yourself, right? Always will come back to that. It just will. But once we work through it, we then have our glow ups, and we're out there and you're glowing from the inside out, and just the exterior is that much more gorgeous, right? Okay, and when you begin to live this way, the dormant light within you doesn't just glow, it radiates. And this light that's exuding from in the inside out, your glow that's shining, it becomes contagious. It does, you guys. It gives permission for others to wake up too and shine their freaking light, okay? All right, so let's do a beautiful closing prayer. Okay, divine light, awaken what sleeps within us. Let our courage rise, our truth be clear, and our voice steady. We release fear of judgment and step into integrity. May our power serve love, not ego. And may our examples inspire awakenings to others. So mote it be, and so it is done. Amen. I love y'all. Okay, I hope everyone has the best weekend. And shine your light from within out. Okay? I love you guys. Okay, bye.
And they come unstuck, faded, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Is this movie that I think you like? This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This guy